Ali is obviously a part of the Russian prostitution ring. And it's not up for debate. And y'all can be offended if you want to. I don't give a damn. Them girls is selling... Hello, thank you so much for joining us again. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. I am joined always by my beautiful husband, Joseph Conner, and we are back on the Conner's couch. How y'all doing today? It's a Bird Gang Sunday, okay? Shout out to the birds. We won, so shout out to all of y'all getting free Dunkin' Donuts tomorrow in the city of Philadelphia.
Dunkin' Donuts is trash. So.
But not only that, Dunkin' Donuts must have been so pissed last year when all they was doing was winning.
I know.
Have been like, are you kidding me? But yeah, so shout out to them and shout out to y'all, all the Eagles fans. If you're not an Eagles fan, which, you know, I get it, who are you a fan of? I'm just curious. Bust down and let us know. We are back. If you are new here, we are two people who just kind of love each other and love talking to each other about all things love, sex, and magic. I've had a coffee, if you cannot tell. I'm a little bit amped. Joe, how was your week?
Good. It was a busy one, but we made it.
We made it. We've been dealing with me and my postpartum a lot this week. So it's been like a really, would you call it a tough week?
Yeah, it was a tough week.
Joe is more sensitive than I am. It wasn't tough. It just was, you know, I'm like postpartum is tough because, look, I just called it tough. Postpartum is tough because...
Zar paints a lot of stuff with a broad, positive brush, and a lot of times it's not accurate, if we're being truthful.
No, I got the stomach for a lot of shit that Joe don't. So it's like...
Truth is, it's not a stomach thing. Sometimes Zar literally views things in a way where it's almost like she created a different reality.
It could be that.
You know what I mean?
Could be a thing.
Like, it's not a stomach thing at all. It's not a sensitivity thing. And this has been a thing of pregnancy. Maybe it's helped her cope. But, like, funny story, a couple... months ago, somebody asked about the baby and how the baby was sleeping. And she said something like, oh yeah, she's good. She's doing about 4 hours. And this was months ago where she was like barely doing 2 hours. And I was thinking, that's wildly inaccurate.
If I get 3 good hours, then I'm like, I could do my thing. The point I'm trying to make.
It doesn't change the accuracy of the statement is all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like,
I think my point is it's been tough. And it's been
and it's
tough.
okay to say. Like Zar doesn't like when it's okay to say.
I don't like big words. I mean? I don't like big words because
it's not big. It's not big to say that. Especially if I'm speaking about how I feel, I'll just keep it real. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that I'm a bad parent or Zar's a bad parent or the baby's a bad parent. If I had a rough night, it's okay to say you had a rough night. You just got to get to that point because sometimes I feel like it's not okay for you to say, and it's okay.
And I do feel that way. I feel like I had a very traumatic pregnancy. This baby is here. I'm not about to complain about her being here. And that's how I take it. And that's why I say, no, it's not tough. Like, you know what I mean? The postpartum part of it has been rough for me and tough for me because I have nothing to give. Like, after I've given everything to, like, work and this and that, like, I physically cannot be. I'm having a hard time also being somebody's wife. And that's not something that I think I ever had a hard time with. But life comes at you fast and your priorities shift. And it's just like about getting like back to each other. You know what I mean? In a way that feels like us again when we're like, or not even us again, but like this new us. Because I feel like we trying to maybe make fetch happen like it's us the old way when we probably should be, you know, okay with the transformation. Do that make sense?
I think we are, in the transformation.
That's what I mean.
And I don't think that we are fighting it. I think we're just figuring out what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think either one of us is trying to put a square peg into a round hole. I just think it's growing pains. You know what I mean? And I think that's okay to say. It's not complaining to say, to express how you feel. You know what I mean?
No, that part's not complaining to me. I'm saying, like, if I get a bad night of sleep, I just got a bad night of sleep.
And that's okay. That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that's okay. It's okay to to be able to just express how you feeling, you know what I mean? It also helps you move on to the next play, you know what I mean? Oh, I had a rough week. Next week is going to be a better week, you know what I mean? Or whatever. So that's all. And
I've been having a hard time. I don't know what it is, but Mom said to me, she said, you know, one of the things that make me nervous is that I see you get mad and then you won't say anything. She said, you'll just get mad and I can see you like push it down. And I'm like, well, I just can't be that person. I used to snap, yo. Like, I really used to be like, get this bitch a tranquilizer. Like, she's nuts. Like, you know what I mean? And I just am not, I've come so far. And I normally don't even get mad. Like, I'm not even like a person who gets like angry. But when I mean nowadays, like if my mom was not here, y'all, I cannot explain to you how I would have, like, postpartum is so real. I could see how people feel like hurting themselves or being done with things and stuff like that. And yes, I'm getting back on my dean with my therapist, because when I tell y'all I be mad as shit, it'd be like I be so, and it'd be about nothing. It'd be about like, oh, well, I made a 4-ounce bottle instead of a 6-ounce bottle. And I'd be ready to fucking snap. But the baby eats a 6-ounce bottle too. So like, what's the big deal? I'm being transparent because I don't think women talk about this enough. And I don't think we hear it from like both people, because what I was reading about when I was reading up on postpartum is how men go through postpartum too. You know what I mean? It just looks different. Like I have a hormonal thing going on, but you are experiencing like a life shift. You know what I mean? So I'm saying all that to say, if you have a woman and you are close to her, like give her some grace, especially if she just had a baby. You know what I mean? Because this shit is like, it's what I mean, you cannot control it. And I be trying so hard. Just give her a little bit of grace, but also be honest about how you feel. And I think that helps. Like Joe is honest with me about how he's feeling and what's bothering him. And I think it helps me to kind of bring me down from wherever I am, you know? Love is Blind didn't have much going on. This was very short. This was a very short season.
Yeah.
And it was very short in general. Now, Joe and I, can I mention Married at First Sight UK here?
Yeah. Not a lot of people can get the show here because it's like geo-blocked and everything like that, but
Joe be figuring things out. He know what to do.
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever we want to get, I'm going to get.
Right. So I wanted to watch Married at First Sight UK. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because one of the best things to me about Married at First Sight UK is that it's actually a program. It's actually being married at first sight. These people are fat. They are short. They are skinny. They are tall. They got one eye. They got no eye. They got like, you know what I mean?
They got all the things.
They got all the things. They gay. They straight. And I love that because I think it's a actual representation. They Indian. They're not Indian of what the world looks like. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of times with Love is Blind, we just keep getting the same people. Somebody looking for a Metro PCS commercial. Y'all are not going to get me to believe I don't believe for 2 seconds Calabria came on here to get a man.
Or Allie.
I don't believe it for 2 seconds that they came on here to get themselves a husband. Allie is obviously a part of the Russian prostitution ring. And it's not up for debate. And y'all can be offended if you want to. I don't give a damn. Them girls is selling pussy. Okay? And they selling it by the pound. All right? She said, look at you. Why would you even be out here dating a man like that? She said, well, he make pretty good money. And she said, he make pretty good money. She was like, he make good money. What kind of money you make?
It just was weird. Like, for you to deprecate on anybody's situation, you know what I mean? Like you are the head of technology at Google. You're a nurse, respectfully. Like, you shouldn't be downplaying nobody's situation, you know what I mean?
Right, y'all in the same boat.
Yeah, like, that just was weird. I didn't like that.
But it wasn't weird. When you do all those things to your aesthetic, and I get it. Let me tell you something. Once you invest a certain amount in yourself, you are looking to get a return on your investment. All them bitches with the baddie BBLs and the faces all tooted up and everything. Y'all can say y'all did that for yourselves if y'all want to. I don't believe it for 2 seconds. I do not believe it for 2 seconds. You had something that you needed to get outside, especially the one, and you trying to catch, and that's okay. And you not only are you trying to catch, you're trying to catch in a different ocean. You say I'm over here in Lake Lanier and the shit is dead. Okay, it's not, but corpses up in here. I need to be over there in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, where it's nice and warm. And the truth of the matter is, that's what Allie's thought process is. She only got to the altar and did not marry Anton because he ain't had no money. I
wouldn't even say he doesn't have money.
To her,
I was about to say she's
I think to anybody
she's
else,
deep sea fishing, like, you know what I mean. Nothing about Anton gives broke to me. You know what I mean. I think she was deep sea fishing. She was trying to get a whale. You know what I mean. And she wanted somebody who was gonna come through and tell her that she ain't had to do nothing. She ain't had to clean up. She ain't had to cook. She ain't had to do her own laundry. She don't have to do nothing or work. But she can also still go get her Botox and still go do. That's what she wanted a sponsor. You know what I mean?
She wanted a sponsor, and y'all knew she wanted a sponsor.
And my issue with this is that's fine. You could do whatever you want to do in the real world. But you shouldn't have came on here and wasted everybody's time like this in the name of 15 minutes of fame. Because she knew she was saying no to this dude.
Let me tell you something. You don't toot your face up like that and do all these things to yourself to look as beautiful as she does to be a bitch who gets married blindly.
Yeah.
That ain't why you did it. You want to be seen. That's why you do all the things you do,
yeah.
Which is perfectly fine. But you're not going to come over here and put a wool over my eyes as if, oh my goodness, no, I was looking for love. And the person I met on the inside of the pod is so different. Do y'all see the difference?
Yeah.
I'm looking for the difference. Yeah. And I'm genuinely bust down. Y'all tell us what we missing. The man had a couple drinks. You trying to tell me the man can't have a full pack of beer after he get off of work?
First of all, we already know Netflix was sued. They drink all day in the pods. One thing they're going to do is allow them to have alcohol. So we know for a fact that in these little gold cups, whenever you're watching them, 9 times out of 10, they're drinking alcohol because at one point that's all they was getting. This season they're showing the food and the charcuterie boards and everything else, but we know he was drinking in the pods like everybody else was drinking in the pods.
But how about that? So he was never this sober.
Yeah, like.
How about, good point. Very, very good point. But the implication of me being somebody who is, tooted all the time, and I'm a person who teaches truck drivers how to drive. Like, I don't even like, that could be a detriment to my job.
But also.
My little itty bitty job I got.
But also stop trying to play him like he's not a truck driver. He does truck driving logistics, which is a very different. That's why I didn't like that either, because we got a homie who does the same thing. He makes very good money. Scott makes very good money. You know what I mean? So that for you to be sitting on here as a nurse trying to downplay and deprecate on somebody's gig is corny to me.
But after you, cutie patootie, decided you was gonna get married get with somebody blindly, it's just so asinine. And the problem with it is that if love is actually blind, everybody should be more average.
Yeah.
We need more average looking people.
I'm
exhausted. I'm tired of the 10s. We need strong 6s. We need good 6s, okay? With good jobs.
It's too many lemons like Ali.
Oh, no personality. You don't even got no fucking personality.
You don't even have a personality.
You know what I mean? No personality, just baddie. Nothing else. No razzle dazzle, no Old Bay seasoning, nothing.
Nothing.
I didn't like the whole situation. I didn't like the mama saying, well, he drink. What did the mama say? Oh, well, he drink too much. I don't like that he drink too much. I'm so tired of old people. It ain't even funny. Where's Ice? and that's how I feel about it. I'm tired. You know what I mean? Like, I'm over it. And I just feel like, and not even on those stuff where I think Anton need to be saved. I'm more annoyed that women are getting on here and what they say, women in male fields. That's what's happening. Uh-huh. And it's really getting on my nerves because now y'all got me caping for men as if I would be doing for a woman.
Yeah.
And the problem is that none of these men did anything wrong. I want to take a step back to Madison and Joe. So I want to go to Madison and Joe real quick. I want to rewind and go back to them because I've been looking at the notes and everything and watching what people say. Y'all are not going to get me to believe Joe did anything wrong. Now, it comes out that Joe went back and started dating Casey. And apparently, she comes up to Madison and says, oh, we Eskimo sisters, win. Which...
weird behavior.
Very odd behavior. But I think the altitude in Denver is a little bit different. So it might be a little bit something going on in the brain. You know what I mean?
All of these... and nobody is really... none of these Jones was sharp to me on here.
None of them. Not one of them. Okay? But I'm saying all that to say, let's say Joe met Casey out, because the implication is that, the story is that, is that Joe met Casey out the night before everything went down, the tux fitting and all that stuff like that. And let's say he met her out and he liked her and everything like that.
This is Madison's story.
Yes. He did the right thing by not being with Madison.
Right. What was he supposed to do? Go to the altar?
I don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't care if he met her, screwed her. That would have been wrong. But in truth, he still ain't played no games with her. He was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, and he left. You know what I mean?
And he left.
You can't. It's like you can't have it every which way. We get mad when these people go to the altar and they say no, and then we get mad also when they don't go to the altar, save everybody time, money, and embarrassment.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta, like, if you do this process, which Joe did, and then you get to a point where you realize I don't want to be here anymore, like Joe, like Nick, I gotta respect it. I'm not going to throw dirt on your name for being like, you know what, I don't want to do. I've done it enough. We've tried it. We went on it. We went through the pods. We went on the honeymoon. We spent some time together in the real world, and I know that you're not for me. That's the process.
Do you think that there is something going on where the women cast is almost creating these villain narratives for the men? Like, it can't just be that somebody's not into you.
Yeah, always. And to me, that's the big issue that is the elephant in the single social media streets right now, is women not dealing with accountability well. It's playing itself out in these reality shows real bad. Like, real bad, to the point where y'all can have a relationship, it literally run its course. Somebody literally lay out to you bit by bit, this is what I'm dealing with, this is why I don't want to do this anymore, and then you can literally see them doing the math to twist the narrative to, oh, you must be cheating on me.
Yeah, which it's really, I'm saying that also with Allie and Anton, to circle back to them, because I felt like Allie was trying to, for us, give the audience fodder as to why she wasn't with Anton. Because from what I saw, and you all can correct me if I'm wrong, everything that Allie said she wanted, oh, well, I want to get Botox. He was like, all right, we can figure that out. Or I want to do this. Mind you, this is a young lady. She's 20-something getting Botox. Y'all really scare me.
Yeah, it's sad.
Y'all scare me, okay? But she is talking about all the things that she wants and needs, and then she has like the Russian prostitution mob in her ear about, you know what I mean, like what kind of man she should be dating and everything like that, after she decided to go on a show where she didn't, to remove all of those barriers of financial and this and that. But she called herself trying to like, oh, well, that doesn't mean anything to me. And whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. It would have to be, you couldn't sit around me and my girlfriends and be talking about all the time, men with money, men with money, men with money. And then you get in front of some other stuff and then be like, oh, that don't matter to me.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about this all this time. Look how comfortable they said it.
I was just about to say, you could see how what the vibe was in the room when he was talking about it. This is what they do. This is not like a foreign thing.
But then did you see the friend's girlfriend all surprised? Like, that bitch.
Yeah.
How you surprising? You was the one up there juicing up the situation.
Right.
You the bitch.
Right. It just didn't make sense.
I ain't like that. I didn't like that at all. But I'm not surprised about Allie and Anton. She was out here for a Metro PCS commercial, and 100%. They're going to give it to her. Yeah. They're going to give it to her. Let's talk about Calabria and Edmond. Another group of people who, not for 2 seconds, did I think they was ever going to be together.
No. I knew they was bound to drizzle down a long time ago. I just felt like they were perfect for each other. So that was the little, the glimmer of hope that I had, was that they both crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they both got these weird traumas that the other probably speaks to. I just hate when people get to the end and then do this whole like, oh, well, I just didn't know until the last second. Like, I prefer you to be Nick. I prefer you to be Joe.
I agree. You Why are you wasting everybody's time?
You knew you was going to say no to this bull. You knew you was going to say no. You could have just said, you know what? This is not for me.
I believe they was begging them to stay.
Because they was running out of couples.
Oh, hell yeah. So as far as Calabria and Edmond go, they get down to the day, I guess decision day, and Calabria's mom comes to see Edmond, in which I thought that was the most beautiful thing ever. I do believe Calabria is a dope chick, right? Simply because I think her mama is dope. You know what I mean? So I think you can't be raised by somebody that's solid and be a corny ass bitch. I really do believe that. I love the interaction that she had with him. It broke my heart that his family was not there. Like, where are your brothers?
But that tracks to me because it was clear that when we met the mom, it was something wrong with the mom. It was just very clear. And seeing Edmond and then hearing about all of the things that he's done, he was a football player, went to college, all this other stuff. His whole thing is like another person definitely raised him. You could just tell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when you meet the mom. So it's just unfortunate to now know that this is what a lot of what probably his drama stems from, is being raised by this woman, you know what I mean? Or having to experience a lot of the whatever the bullshit is that his actual biological mother put him through.
Yes.
And it explains a little bit of the weird family dynamic that they have. She at the table talking about, I hate that they be snitching on me and all this other weird shit. Like,
yeah,
who knows
like,
what the brother's relationship is with the mom either.
But it's unfortunate because was the brothers even at the wedding?
I didn't. If they was there, they were not pictured. So I don't know.
And that makes me sad as well. I feel like one of the most what stole the show for me, because I wasn't buying into the Calabria and Edmond thing any goddamn way.
No,
so
never.
What stole the show for me, if I'm being honest, was his interaction with his 5th grade teacher, which she is like a mother to him. And I was telling Joe while we were watching, I'm like, this is exactly why I couldn't become a teacher. Because I love a stray baby, okay? Like, come on, baby. I'm going to feed you. I'm going to wash you up. I'm going to put some clothes on you. Because I think kids just deserve love. And for her to have said that you made me like a better teacher, like you're the reason why I was able to like persist in this career, because I didn't take those kids who needed a little bit of extra attention personally. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I just learned to lean into them and love them a little bit more, teach them a little bit harder kind of thing. Yeah. And I felt like that whole narrative, the way that she consoled him, even when she asked, he was like worked up, and she said, well, can I sit here with you? And he said, what did he say?
I don't remember what he said.
He said something so deep, and I didn't write it down, but he said something like so sweet, like, I really think I need you to, or something like that. And I was like, you know what? That's what this is about. It's not what this is about, but I enjoyed the interaction.
Yeah, because that was his real mother.
Yes. Because she was disappointed, and she was proud of him. Like, look at you. You know what I mean? You're doing these things, and it's so exciting. Now, people were speaking to a difference in pictures. There was a picture out of Edmond with his football gear on, and then a picture of him with, like, looking like he looking this picture that we're looking at right now. And people were like, how are these the same person?
He's in a football uniform.
And that's what people say.
What?
The only difference is he's in a football uniform. The
internet is struggling these days, man.
I'm just like, Calabria shouldn't have been chosen either.
Yeah.
And and I mean that with all due respect. Y'all could have went through that Instagram 2 seconds and seen what she exactly wanted to be here for. And not even on that ain't no shade. I think she's beautiful enough to be an influencer. I think she's beautiful enough to sell Metro PCS SIM cards and everything like that. But if we're doing this for real, then why would you know what I mean?
Yeah, 1,000%. I just think the people that was really in this, you saw them have real conversations. You saw them towards the end, like Nick say, listen, I already told you once, I told you twice, I'm not going to tell you again.
Period.
I'm not here for a camera. I'm not here to get to a wedding day. I was here to find a partner, and you out here acting the ass, and I'm leaving. You know what I mean? Like, that's, to me, is an indication of somebody who really was just like, not really just here to be, getting to the end and putting on a wedding dress and going through the rigmarole of the whole thing. Just to say I was on Netflix.
Right. And that's the annoying part about it. Like, for real, I'm not... again, I love the interaction between Edmond and Calabria's mother. I thought Calabria's performative, you my baby. It was you my baby, boo. Like, that's my baby. Enough
Only
of that.
For her to come to the reunion and then try to air him out, which we will later see. I'm tired. Come on, y'all. Y'all
gotta stop. If he's the problem, y'all gotta act like they the problem in the moment. Yeah. I'm so exhausted with we're gonna rewind it back and tell you all the real. Just be real in the moment.
Yeah, just say it. If you hate this dude today, at the end of the decision day, don't wait 2 months. Say it. You know what I mean?
But even though it did feel like she was checking him at every point. I was getting exhausted by it.
I know.
Because, he let the man be himself. He was over the top in the pods. Let's keep it 100.
Always.
The difference is that he was the one who proposed to you.
Yeah.
That's really the difference. Like, let's stop playing.
Yeah.
Jordan and Megan. This funky dog hit ass bitch. And y'all not going to give me... And I'm going to be hard on Megan because she's exactly the person that she dates.
Oh, yeah.
You exactly the man who never chooses you.
Yeah.
And high key, you like it. You know what I mean? You should have never came in Jordan's world and said anything to him. You should have left that man alone. I enjoyed Jordan, and I genuinely thought he was like, we can make this work. Now, I do have some critiques. I didn't like that Jordan wouldn't talk to her as much. I get that he was tired after work, but he didn't feel like you still got to get to know her.
1,000%. And that's for y'all counseling and y'all therapists to figure out. That's the part of we can work this out that I felt like was the ball was dropped in her lane. Right?
Why in her lane and not his?
Because this is something that y'all can work through. Obviously, he doesn't have the tools. She doesn't have the tools. This is what figuring it out is. We get to decision day, we get married, and then we go to counseling. We go to therapists. We figure out communication styles. We figure out what works for you when I come home from work. What works for me when you come home from work, vice versa. Like, these are things that can be figured out, right? Jordan never gave to me that he thought he had all the answers. He just gave to me that he was committed to the process, which is what we ask people to do. We don't ask people to come on here and be perfect. We don't ask people to come on here and be like, I love you, day 2. Like, especially us, we hate it when people do that.
I hate it.
You know what I mean? So my thing is, they both have flaws. Nobody on here is perfect. I don't expect anybody to be. But I do think that if somebody is committed to the process the way Jordan was, you should see the process through.
And to your point earlier about knowing, these people know that they're not married.
They know.
They
know. And my thing is, you knew when you got home from the honeymoon, Megan, that you didn't want to live his lifestyle.
You knew. And you still allow him to introduce
his baby. And that was nasty work to me.
And that's why you're a funky dog head ass bitch.
Yeah, that's corny.
Then you played what, babe?
Huh?
You were saying, and then he played.
Well, then she played in his face and then was sitting at the kitchen table like, I can't wait to be she was crying about being a stepmom and I don't know what you was freaking out before anything even happened. You know what I mean? Literally. Which to me was her trying to lay the
seeds.
Ground. Right. She was trying to lay seeds on I'm second guessing this and I don't know if I can live up to this and blah, blah, blah. They had just got home when they had a conversation. They just gotten back. So that to me was like, I kind of saw this coming. I appreciate that she didn't take it to the altar, but I kind of saw this coming. So I wasn't super surprised, but I thought it was dirty because it was clear that from their conversations up until that point, Jordan thought they was about to go the distance, which is why he even introduced the kid to her.
To see him, again, y'all got me out here caping for these men. 2 things, like I said, I didn't like that he wasn't moving on the communication front. I felt like he could have gave a little bit more there.
But you can get better at that is what I'm saying.
And that's 1,000%. I also feel like he could be better about the courting aspect because she was asking about dating and everything like that. That too is sometimes you just gotta bring that out of people. And I think too often we just want ready products. Yeah. And we want what we think is ready. Because we think we're ready.
Which is the biggest lie that all these singles ever
And a lot
themselves.
of y'all and a lot of singles aren't as ready as they think they are. And they get into these situations and they have such stringent standards. Mm-hmm. The stringent standards is what be surprising me. I'm not saying he don't need to have a job or a place to live or a car. I'm saying that okay, if you're saying that you need to date more, just say you need to date more.
Right.
And then allow him to adjust. You know what I mean? But the problem is we're not even giving room for adjustments.
Right. There is no room. With the key word that you said was stringent. There's no room with a lot of the singles. The common denominator with a lot of these people, and that's men, women, dog, or cat, is that
y'all are strict.
It's your way or the highway.
Yes.
Even though your way has not worked for you, for some of y'all, for 40 plus years. How is it that it's your way?
You going the wrong way.
You've been for years.
You are going the wrong way. And that's if you want companionship. If your goal is to do what you want to do, live your life and be by be with your harem of humans, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. You know what I mean? It's working for you. But I'm saying if there's partnership in mind, partnership requires a little bit of give and take. It requires you to meet people where they at. It requires you to be wrong. It requires you to be wrong. Where everybody is not always right.
But you gotta also be willing to adjust. And the fact is, it's a sign of insanity to do the same thing and think you're going to get a different outcome. A lot of y'all have been dating the same way, dating the same people, using the same processes that you have failed at for years. Why do you think next year you're going to get a different outcome? And you doing the same shit.
But I'm going to take it a step further. A lot of y'all talk about narcissism. Like, narcissism is something that somebody's, like, born with. Like, that's, like, a nurture thing. Like, people nurture narcissists. And the reason why so many of y'all are narcissists or dating narcissists is because when you were younger, it wasn't okay for you to be wrong. It wasn't okay for you to be in a space where, you know what I mean, like, you did something wrong or you made a mistake or whatever the case may be, and people amplified it. So then you turn into a person who, whether you did it or you didn't do it, whether you right or you wrong, you just going to say whatever you want to say. And then you're going to contort the narrative, you know, spin everybody up into a spool to get your point across. And that's a lot of people right now. Like, it's a lot of people out in the dating world who are not okay with saying, I fucked up, you're right. That wasn't cool. You know what I mean? Joe checked me on something the other day. We went to therapy very early on in our relationship when we first got back together. And he said, this is something that you told me I did to you, and now you're doing it to me. And he was 100% correct. And while I was like doing it, which I was being an avoidant, and I had like just left, I thought, damn, this motherfucker is right. So I literally turned around and I came home and I just was like, you know what? I'm going to just have to like deal with this head on, because I know how doing those things made me feel, or like him doing those things made me feel. And I don't want to impart that same feeling on him. I just know how I'm feeling in this moment, and I'm having a hard time getting my point across, which I think that's how you felt at the time. You know what I mean? Like, you just had a hard time getting your point across, so you were just like, fuck it, I'll leave. You know what I mean? And I feel like those moments are important because sometimes you got to just tuck your tail and come home. Mm-hmm. And a lot of y'all don't want to do that because for some reason, giving up that kind of ground makes you weak. But y'all missing the point that it strengthens the foundation. Like, for your spouse to know that they can say something to you and it'll move you a certain way, that you'll start to move different, or you'll take what they say into account, that strengthens the foundation. And I think sometimes we miss that. Yeah,
and I think a lot of times that's not the goal. The goal is to be right, or the goal is to hold steadfast on your own processes.
Yes, and y'all be wrong.
I mean, dead wrong. Mm-hmm. And then going where with it? You
win what?
You held steadfast, and now you're in your apartment by yourself yet again.
You ever see that TikTok, and it's like when you won the argument, and the guy was like, "But you outside sleeping on the pavement."
Oh no, I didn't.
It's like a thing. I'm gonna send it to you, but it's like really, that's how it is. Like, okay, you won.
Y'all be winning, and then y'all be by yourselves, and then y'all just paint it with this broad brush of like, well, you know,
I ain't putting up with nothing.
Yeah, because I'm not changing for nobody. Well,
got it. Megan wanted something else too. The problem is I believe Megan could have been here for love, but you can't.
Megan wasn't here for love. Megan was here for
But for what? She ain't cute enough to be an influencer. Respectfully, Megan.
I think that.
And she ain't real enough to be an influencer. I think
it's for the same way that she had to constantly tell us how much money that she makes and all of this other stuff, and how. That's
how you know she ugly. Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant.
But how the sister is got a family and all the things, and I think she's like in this competition in her head. You know what I mean? And so now it's like, well, I was on Netflix, Love is Blind. I think this was just another check mark. This is no different from her going back to get another master's or something like that. So she could tell everybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But my thing is, girl, you a weirdo. You fetishize diabetes, which nobody knew that could ever be a fucking thing.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you trying to make fetch happen. Like, oh, my dad had diabetes and he died, and now I want to love on your son until his death? I don't understand what we're saying. Like, what are we talking about?
It was just bad acting.
It was just bad acting. So, yeah, y'all. What I'm trying to say is just love on y'all people. It's nothing out here. It's nothing. I know people be like, leave them. And part of me, I am that girlfriend, leave them, okay? But then the other part of me being like, did he knock you between the headboard and the nightstand?
There's nothing in these streets at all.
I'm telling you, girl, if he ain't do all that, we could figure some shit out. Because these men are incels and y'all are becoming, the women is getting real tough too. It's getting tough out here. I would say the same thing to a man, to be honest.
Yeah, it ain't nothing out here. It ain't nothing in these streets.
Nothing. Just desperation and exhaustion. Y'all are just desperate and exhausted.
And it feels like the longer we go down the social media rabbit hole of influence, and I just mean the way social media sometimes influences culture, the worse it seems to get. You know what I mean? And so it's like with time, the dating pool is just becoming more and more soured. Stay in the house. Don't leave that unless y'all in there doing Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Hello.
Shooting at each other in the kitchen. Y'all might as well stay together.
Hello. Do us a favor, buy us a coffee. I'm so glad you came and hung out with us on the Conner's couch. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. This is my beautiful husband, Joseph Conner, whom I love more than anything on this earth. Okay? Well, him and my baby. But we want to thank y'all for joining us. Make sure y'all bust in and tell us what y'all thinking, okay? And we'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later. Bye.